Ready? Hey! Let's go!
Alright, so we're out here just messing around today. I'm gonna take the front sway bar off, so we're doing a little experiment, nothing scientific. We just stacked up some firewood and we want to see how much more flex we get with the sway bar off. So sway bar is on it right now. I don't know if you can see, but the sway bars are all still connected. The thing's still connected to it, and I don't know how tall this pile is, but you can see we got about 5 or 6 high right there we drove up on. Back tire still touching the ground right there. As you can see, that front tire on the other side is off of the ground. Brakes set on it, so I can't spin it, but you can see that it's all the way off the ground by a good 3 or 4 inches off the ground right there. So we're gonna disconnect that front sway bar, take it out of there, and come back and pull up here again and see what kind of difference it makes. Just to add a little bit to this RZR has a the rear sway bar on his broke the link, so he really doesn't have a rear sway bar on this one. That's mine, and that's the one that was just on there. This one, as you can see, he actually went a little higher up the pile than I did. He's on the very top, and his front tire is still touching the ground, and that's with a front sway bar, but really no rear sway bar. I'll show you. See that his rear sway bar link is broke, so he really is disconnected from the other side too, and zip tied up there out of the way. So he's running a front and no rear, and you can see how much more flex that gave it. He actually went to the top of the pile, and that front tire is still on the ground, still touching the ground. He doesn't have as much flex in the rear tire as I had, and he's actually running a little lower air pressure than I am. So as you can see, it's got a lot of flex in that tire, but mine was really flexed because all the weight was back there. So anyway, we'll take that front one off and see, kind of compare and see what difference it makes. All right, so first thing I'm gonna do is disconnect the link here that holds the A-arm to the sway bar. If I go the right way. Stop it right there. All right, so I've disconnected the sway bar links from the A-arm on both sides. As you can see, there's no bolt in there. It'll just flop down like this. So next thing I got to do is get up here and there's 2 bolts holding this in. There's one on it right here in the front, and there's one down here. So now we're gonna take those out on both sides, and this thing whole thing should just drop down and we can pull it out. So that's coming next. So on this one, this side's a little harder to get to. The driver's side's a little harder to get to than the passenger side. I was able to get a socket on the other side, but with this one, these are 13 millimeter. You can you'll have to use box end wrenches, or I got a ratcheting wrench right here to make it a little bit easier. So you can just get this one and just like this. So with the sway bar off, we got some interesting results. I pulled a little higher this time. I pulled up there where he was before, all the way to the top, and you can see my front tire is still off the ground. It's way up off the ground. So honestly, not having a rear sway bar, I think, gives you more flex than the removing the front, because this one, as you can see, it's out of there. We took it off, and that front tire is still way high. It's as high, if not as high as it was before. Now, like I said, I'm a little higher on the pile. I went all the way to the top where I stopped a little short of the top last time. So it might have made a little bit of a difference, but not a huge difference in flex without the front one. Not as much as both of these are 2019 XP1000s. They were bought at the same dealership. They're twins. I mean, he's got a different cage, but I mean, you can look at his and see they're the same razor. So no rear sway bar has more flex than no front sway bar. So our little non-scientific experiment here, but interesting. All right, so I felt like this experiment was incomplete. So this is my razor again, and I went ahead and disconnected the rear one. Now it has no sway bars connected at all because I just had to know. And as you can see, I've got that sway bar up there zip tied out of the way. All I had to do was take this bolt out right here that goes right here on both sides. You don't have to jack it up or anything. You just, this 15mm bolt with a nut on the other side. You just loosen it, pull it out, and you can push that thing up out of the way and zip tie it up. It would actually be really easy to reconnect. If you needed it, you can just pull it back down, stick the bolts back in. But as you can see, it made a huge difference. I'm all the way up on it. That tire is completely on the ground. I mean, it's touching the ground. I got back tire, doesn't have I mean, it's got flex in it, as you can see, but it's not terrible. And the thing is steady. I mean, you know, obviously before when it was up here, it would rock and shake and getting in and out of it like that, but it's solid now. I mean, that rear sway bar makes a huge difference. I hadn't ridden it enough. I just did this, so I hadn't ridden enough to see how much body roll. I kind of got on a little hill up there sideways just to see if I could tell a big difference. I really couldn't, but I was going slow. It may make a huge difference when you're going fast around corners and stuff. You definitely want to be careful with that. But like I said, it's just 2 bolts. You can literally just pull that thing back down, stick the 2 bolts back in the bottom of the sway bar, and your rear sway bar is on. And from this experiment, I feel like the rear sway bar's the one doing all the work anyway. The front sway bar doesn't really seem to make a huge difference. Probably something I don't know, which wouldn't be surprising to anybody, especially me. But yeah, so you can see what we got today. We got no sway bar, no rear sway bar, and no front sway bar, and both sway bars in this particular experiment, and to kind of show you what a difference each one made. So thanks for watching.